Jacob's journey back to Bethel was marked by the confirmation of God's covenant promise, an overwhelming assurance that God was with him, that he belonged to the unfolding purposes first spoken to Abraham and Isaac. After so many years of uncertainty, exile, and fear, here was a triumphant moment, a pinnacle where heaven's promise broke the horizon of Jacob's troubled life. But life, as the story unfolds, does not travel in a straight line. And soon after the splendor of Bethel, Jacob's path enters deep valleys of pain and loss that color the remainder of his days. What seems a settled blessing becomes shadowed by sorrow, a story of joy mingled with heartbreak, gifts accompanied by thorns. Before we continue, just a reminder to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit that notification bell. By doing so, you'll stay connected and up to date with future content. Now let's continue delving into Genesis chapter 35, verses 16 to 29, and the message God has in store for us. Shortly after leaving Bethel, life takes a severe turn for the worse. Rachel, Jacob's beloved, who had once longed desperately for children, and whose journey with Jacob had been marked by hope, jealousy, and persistence, finally gives birth to a second son. Her yearning was well known. When she bore Joseph years earlier, she had prayed that the Lord will add to me another son. Rachel's greatest longing was for children, for the affirmation and legacy that came with bearing sons in that culture, especially as a beloved wife. The arrival of Benjamin, the answer to her hope, proves both fulfillment and calamity. As she labors in childbirth, her life slips away. In her last breaths, she names the baby Ben-Oni, meaning son of my trouble, encapsulating the bitter blend of answered prayer and irreversible loss. For Jacob, the pain of this moment is too much. He renames the child Benjamin, son of my right hand, an act of redemption and hope amidst the anguish. The story of Rachel's longing is a deeply human one. Her greatest desire was for another son, and this longing shaped much of her identity and experience. When she finally receives what she asked for, it is not as she dreamed. The fulfillment of her longing is overshadowed by the tragedy that it entails. This is not just the somber narrative of a single family. It is a reflection of the human condition. Even when our greatest hopes are met, there are often consequences or sorrows we could not have foreseen. Achievements and blessings in this world, though given by God, remain touched by the fallenness of our world, marred by mortality, touched by disappointment, and marked by endings that seem only partly satisfying. All of our pleasures and attainments, even those gifts most surely from God, are shadowed by the realities of sin, decay, and death. As Ecclesiastes chapter 9 verses 7 to 9 tells us, "Go, eat your bread with joy, and drink your wine with a merry heart, for God has already approved what you do. Let your garments be always white. Let not oil be lacking on your head. Enjoy life with the wife whom you love, all the days of your vain life that he has given you under the sun." These words invite us to cherish earthly blessings, but they are intertwined with an honest recognition that these joys are temporary, vulnerable, fleeting. Similarly, Jesus cautions in the Gospel of Matthew chapter 6 verses 19 to 21, "Do not store up for yourselves treasures on earth, where moth and rust destroy, and where thieves break in and steal. But store up for yourselves treasures in heaven, for where your treasure is, there your heart will be also." The lesson is clear. Even our holiest and happiest moments in this life are not immune to trouble. And so we are to set our hope on something greater, to hold tightly to God above his gifts. Yet Rachel's death is only part of Jacob's newly woven grief. Soon after, further trouble strikes from within. His eldest son, Reuben, acts in a way that deeply wounds Jacob and threatens to tear the family's fabric. Reuben sleeps with Bilhah, Rachel's maid and Jacob's concubine, an act that is both a personal betrayal and a statement of attempted power. In ancient times, the firstborn had a position of leadership and double inheritance. Reuben's act is calculated, a signal that he wants to assume control of the family. But in doing so, he undermines his father's authority and destabilizes the fragile unity among the brothers. The consequences of this act will reverberate through the coming years and reach their full reckoning only at the end of Jacob's life. When Jacob blesses his sons before dying, he recalls this moment and rebukes Reuben, stripping him of the privileges of the firstborn. In this period of Jacob's story, the family is finally complete, 12 sons that will become the tribal parents of the nation of Israel. The text gives a roll call of Jacob's sons, but beneath the surface, it is a list shadowed by rivalries, betrayals, and pain. The family of blessing is also a family of strife. For anyone walking with Christ through the complexities of family life, this episode resonates. Often, godly members are called to patience and wisdom as they navigate the actions of relatives who do not share their faith or values. Prayer becomes essential, a means of carrying the burdens of family dysfunction and seeking hope and healing for broken relationships. The journey leads Jacob back home to his father Isaac. Surprisingly, Isaac is still alive, despite the prediction many years earlier that his death was near. Jacob, after so much wandering, comes home and finds his father, aged now, with him, the circle of generations turning once again. Not long after, Isaac dies. The text notes that he is gathered to his people, old and full of days, and Esau and Jacob bury him together. This moment echoes the pattern seen with Abraham. A patriarch passes on, sons gather, and a new generation must take up the mantle. It is a reminder of the recurring theme from Genesis 5. Each man lives, begets sons and daughters, and then dies. The promise of God is being worked out, but death remains a persistent visitor, a sign that the curse given to Adam still grips humanity. So as another generation fades, we see the mosaic of hope and sorrow. God's covenant promises are slowly taking form. Abraham's descendants are multiplying. The foundations of a people are being laid. Yet each advance is coupled with loss. Death, division, grief, and sin continue. The human story has not much changed since Adam. The shadow of mortality falls over every generation. The promises of God speak hope, but the curse is not yet lifted. In these stories, we are invited to gaze honestly at the tensions of our own lives. Blessings and hardships walk together. The fulfillment of our longings may bring unexpected pain. Family life is often messy, and even the most faithful walk can run through valleys of grief. But the promise of God endures, inviting us to fix our eyes not on what is passing away, but on what is eternal. Let us hold to Him who weaves goodness from sorrow, who promises a blessing that death will one day no longer touch. If this message resonates with you, take a moment to praise our Lord. Type, "Glory to Yahweh," in the comments as a declaration of praise and glory to our Father for His infinite love, mercy, and patience for us. God bless you.